Amat lived in the small village of Aboloba with her parents, Kofi and Adeko. The village was a quiet, scenic place surrounded by lush greenery and rolling hills. Life in Aboloba was simple but hard, especially for Amat's family. Her parents were desperate for money and would do anything to get more, even if it meant making unwise decisions. Kofi and Adeko were notorious gamblers. They believed that luck would someday shine upon them, but their constant gambling only made them poorer. Amat, on the other hand, had different dreams. She wanted to work hard, save money, and go to a university in the city. She believed in the power of education and was determined to escape the cycle of poverty that had ensnared her family. Every morning, Amat would wake up early to work on the farms. She would till the soil, plant crops, and harvest them, hoping to save enough money for her education. Despite the hard work, she remained optimistic, always believing that a better future was possible. One fateful day, a man named Emeka came to visit Aboloba. Emeka was a wealthy businessman from the city, and his arrival caused quite a stir in the village. He was handsome, well-dressed, and exuded an air of confidence that attracted everyone's attention. As he walked through the village, he noticed Amat working in the fields and was immediately struck by her beauty and determination. Emeka approached Amat and introduced himself. "Hello, I'm Emeka. I couldn't help but notice how hard you're working. It's rare to see such dedication." Amat looked up, wiping the sweat from her brow. "Thank you, Emeka. I'm Amat. I believe in hard work and have dreams of going to university in the city." Emeka smiled. "That's admirable. It's important to have dreams and work towards them." As the days went by, Emeka continued to visit Amat in the fields, and they began to develop a friendship. They would talk about their dreams, their lives, and their hopes for the future. Amat found herself drawn to Emeka's charm and ambition, and Emeka admired Amat's resilience and determination. However, Kofi and Adeko soon became aware of Emeka's interest in their daughter. Seeing an opportunity to improve their financial situation, they decided to push for a marriage between Amat and Emeka. They believed that marrying a wealthy man would solve all their problems and bring them the money they so desperately craved. One evening, Kofi and Adeko sat Amat down for a serious conversation. "Amat, we've noticed that Emeka is interested in you," Kofi began. "He's a wealthy man from the city, and marrying him would be a great opportunity for you and for us." Amat was taken aback. "But, Father, I have dreams of going to university. I want to build a future for myself." Adeko placed a hand on Amat's shoulder. "We understand, but think of what this marriage could mean for our family. Emeka can provide for us, and you have a comfortable life in the city." Feeling trapped and pressured by her parents, Amat reluctantly agreed to the marriage. She loved Emeka, but she also knew that this decision meant sacrificing her dreams. The wedding was arranged quickly, and soon Amat found herself leaving the village and the life she had known behind. Amat and Emeka moved to the city, where Emeka's lavish lifestyle overwhelmed her. The bustling streets, tall buildings, and constant noise were a stark contrast to the peaceful village of Aboloba. Despite her initial unease, Amat tried to adjust to her new life and make the best of the situation. At first, Emeka treated Amat with kindness and generosity. He would shower her with gifts, take her to expensive restaurants, and introduce her to his wealthy friends. He even sent money to Kofi and Adiku every week, fulfilling his promise to provide for her family. Amat's parents were thrilled, believing that their daughter's marriage had brought them good fortune. However, as time went on, Emeka's true nature began to reveal itself. He would come home late, reeking of alcohol, and often in a foul mood. Amat tried to maintain a cheerful demeanor, hoping that Emeka's behavior would improve, but things only got worse. Emeka became increasingly abusive, both verbally and physically. He would lash out at Amat for the smallest of reasons, leaving her bruised and battered. One night, after a particularly violent outburst, Amat decided she couldn't take it anymore. She packed a small bag and fled the house, making her way back to Aboloba. When she arrived at her parents' doorstep, she looked like a shadow of her former self. Her clothes were torn, her face was bruised, and she was trembling with fear. Kofi and Adiku were shocked to see their daughter in such a state. "Amat, what happened to you?" Adiku cried, rushing to embrace her. Through tears, Amat explained everything, how Emeka had changed, the abuse she had endured, and her desperate escape. She begged her parents to let her stay, hoping they would understand and support her. But Kofi and Adiku's reaction was far from what Amat had hoped for. "You can't stay here, Amat," Kofi said sternly. "Emeka has been sending us money every week. We can't afford to lose that." Amat's heart sank. "But he's hurting me, father. I can't go back to him." Adiku shook her head. "You have to manage and pray, Amat. Marriage is not always easy. You must endure." Feeling utterly betrayed, Amat realized she had no one to turn to. In a moment of desperation, she stole some money from her parents' stash and fled the village once more. This time, she did not return to Emeka. Instead, she rented a small place on the outskirts of the city and vowed to start her life afresh. Living alone in the outskirts of the city was difficult, but Amat was determined to make it work. She found a job at a local market, selling fruits and vegetables. The pay was meager, but it was enough to cover her basic needs. Amat worked long hours, often returning home exhausted, but she was grateful for the independence and the freedom from abuse. With the money she had taken from her parents, Amat also managed to enroll in night classes at a community college. She was determined to pursue her dream of getting an education, even if it meant juggling work and studies. The classes were challenging, but Amat was a dedicated student, always eager to learn and improve. As the months went by, Amat began to build a new life for herself. She made friends at the market and at school, forming a support network that helped her through the tough times. She also found solace in her studies, discovering a passion for business and entrepreneurship. Her dream of going to university was still alive, and she was determined to achieve it. One day, while working at the market, Amat met a woman named Nkechi. Nkechi was a successful businesswoman who had started her own company from scratch. She was impressed by Amat's work ethic and determination and offered to mentor her. "You have a lot of potential, Amat," Nkechi said. "With the right guidance and support, you can achieve great things." Amat was thrilled at the opportunity. She began to spend her free time learning from Nkechi, absorbing everything she could about running a business. Nkechi's mentorship gave her the confidence and the knowledge she needed to start thinking about her future in a new light. As she continued to work and study, Amat also began to heal from the trauma of her past. She attended support groups for survivors of domestic violence, finding strength in the stories of others who had overcome similar challenges. She realized that she was not alone, and that gave her the courage to keep moving forward. After a year of hard work and dedication, Amat finally achieved her goal of enrolling in a university business program. She was ecstatic, feeling a sense of accomplishment and pride that she had not felt in a long time. Her experiences had made her resilient and determined, and she was ready to take on the challenges of university life. At the university, Amat thrived. She excelled in her classes, earning top grades and gaining the respect of her professors and peers. She also continued to work part-time at the market, balancing her studies and her job with ease. Her dreams of building a better future were within reach, and she was determined to make them a reality. Nkechi remained a constant source of support and inspiration for Amat. Under her mentorship, Amat developed a business plan for a small enterprise that she hoped to start after graduation. The plan involved creating a cooperative for women in the village to produce and sell handmade crafts, providing them with a sustainable source of income and empowering them economically. When Amat presented her business plan to her professors, they were impressed by her vision and her commitment to social impact. They encouraged her to pursue funding and provided her with resources and contacts to help her get started. Amat felt a renewed sense of purpose and excitement, knowing that she was on the verge of something big. On the day of her graduation, Amat felt a mix of emotions, pride, joy, and a sense of accomplishment. As she walked across the stage to receive her diploma, she looked out at her parents in the crowd. They were there, watching her with tears in their eyes, proud of the woman she had become. After the ceremony, Amat approached her parents, unsure of what to expect. To her surprise, Kofi and Adiku embraced her, tears streaming down their faces. "We are so proud of you, Amat," Kofi said, his voice choked with emotion. "You have overcome so much, and you have achieved more than we ever thought possible." Adiku nodded, her eyes shining with pride. "You are a strong and resilient woman, Amat. We were wrong to push you into that marriage, and we are sorry for all the pain we caused you." Amat felt a surge of emotion. She had longed for her parents' acceptance and validation, and now she had it. She realized that forgiveness was not about forgetting the past, but about letting go of the anger and resentment that had consumed her for so long. As she looked out at her family and friends, Amat knew that her journey was far from over. She had dreams and aspirations, and she was determined to pursue them with all her heart. She knew that there would be challenges ahead, but she also knew that she had the strength and the resilience to overcome them. With her degree in hand and a bright future ahead, Amat was ready to embark on the next chapter of her life. She had learned valuable lessons along the way about resilience, forgiveness, and the power of dreams. She was determined to use her experiences to make a positive impact in the world, starting with her community in Aboloba. As she looked back at the village she had left behind, Amat felt a sense of gratitude for everything she had experienced. Her journey had been difficult, but it had also been transformative. She had discovered her strength, her resilience, and her capacity for forgiveness. She was ready to face the future with hope and optimism, knowing that she had the power to create the life she had always dreamed of. And so, with a heart full of hope and a mind full of dreams, Amat set out to build a new future for herself, one filled with promise, opportunity, and endless possibilities.